Hey guys, welcome back to Team 6K. This is Undead, and today we're going to be talking about the new structure deck EX Blazing Gearfried. If you're looking for what we think of the structure deck itself, honestly the Gemini mechanic that it supports is kinda beyond saving. Even with the new skill, Geminis will just lose all the time against pretty much any deck. Even if you can get a combo going, the downside of Geminis make them way more interruptible than any other deck. And you gotta dedicate deck slots just to fixing their weaknesses, when those deck slots could have otherwise been used to help you play against the opponent's interruptions. But as always, we could be wrong and there could be some broken combo that it can do that we are just unaware of, so only time will tell. Even though the structure isn't very good as a deck though, it does contain some pretty good cards that might actually see meta play in Duel Links. Those cards are Immortal Phoenix Gearfried and Infernoble Knight Roland. Immortal Phoenix Gearfried special summons itself from the hand by banishing an equip spell from the field or grave, and it can negate monster effect activations by sending an equip spell you control to the grave, kinda like a better Red Eye / Dragon. And it can fuel its own effect by equipping any monster on the field, including your opponent's, to itself as an equip spell whenever it attacks, but it can only have one monster equipped to itself that way. So it's got a really powerful negate and it special summons itself, but it does rely on you somehow getting an equip on the field or in the grave to summon it, and also kind of needs you to have a way to consistently get another equip spell onto it, because having to wait until it attacks really isn't that reliable. As far as we know, it isn't searchable right now either, so these are all issues that will need to be addressed before this card can be played. However, those issues could all be solved by the Infernoble archetype. Speaking of the Infernoble archetype, the structure deck also gives one of the Infernoble Knights, which might foreshadow Infernoble Knight cards coming in a future box, maybe even the next main box. If it sounds familiar to you, it's because it's basically the French version of Noble Knights, and they are way better. But the one we got is Roland, which has a quick effect in the hand to equip itself as an equip spell to one of your monsters, and it'll give that monster 500 attack. You could use this as the equip for Immortal Phoenix Gearfried for that monster negate, making it bigger, also making it a really nice threat. Roland does more though. It has an effect on end phase that it can search any fire warrior from deck to hand except for another copy of itself, if it's in the graveyard from being sent there this turn, kind of like a Whitestone of Ancients. So if this card is equipped to a Gearfried, you could negate the opponent's monster activation on the opponent's turn by sending Roland to the grave, then Roland will be able to get a search off so you can keep playing. These two cards alone though aren't enough to make a strategy. We're going to need more support cards to go alongside these two to help us consistently use them, rather than hoping to open them and hoping to have the cards that can help set them up. There is however a skill that can help set up the summoning condition and effect for the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, that being Salamandra and Phoenix. It lets you normal summon or set Phoenix Gearfried, which is a pretty bad Gemini monster, but it also lets you reveal the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried himself in your hand to set the equip spell Salamandra from outside of your deck to the field face down, and send the equip spell Legendary Sword from outside of your deck to the graveyard. And to use the skill, your main deck has to have at least 10 fire warrior monsters in it. If you have the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried in your hand, you could reveal it, get the equip spell on the field and the other equipping grave, banish the one from grave to special summon it from hand, then equip that face down Salamandra to it to turn on its negate. So just this skill alone would validate the card. The only issue is though that the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried still isn't searchable as far as we know. If you know any good cards to search this card that are already in Duel Links, be sure to leave them in the comments. If we got the Infernoble Knight archetype in the next box, there's a chance that we might also get Isolde Two Tails of the Noble Knights, which can search for Immortal Phoenix Gearfried on summon. And though it won't be able to use its effects the same turn, you'll still be able to reveal it to use the skill, and you'll still be able to special summon it and equip it with Salamandra so that it can use its negate on the next turn. This wouldn't be too splashable either, as the skill would still require that we be playing 10 whole fire warrior monsters. There really aren't that many good fire warrior archetypes in the game. It's pretty much just Infernobles. So this structure deck definitely has a lot of potential, but it's definitely going to depend on what cards we can get to support it. Just by itself though, it isn't going to be good enough. I have seen some people trying this out with fire heroes and with Orchist. They're just kind of grasping at straws here because neither of those will search for the Gearfried anyway, and I'm not going to knock their hustle or anything, but we hope this video has been helpful to you. If you liked it, then be sure to let that like button know just how much you want to see more videos like these in the future. Subscribe if you like our videos, and subscribe if you hate our videos, so that you can be there when we crash and burn, and slap that like button to get notified every time we make a new video. And I've been Undead from Team 6K, signing out.
Wait, hey, I feel like the greatest. Nah, I feel like they hate it. Nah, I feel like the only one and there is no debating. Man, I feel like they leaving. Nah, I feel like they waited. Nah, I feel like this is the feeling before I can make it. Before I hit the stage, I just feel like I'm nauseous. Or I feel like I'm popping. Or I feel like a boss is. Maybe I'm feeling off it. Or I feel like I'm toxic. Maybe feeling intoxicated is the reason for all this. I wanna whip it with the top down, dog, like I'm Earth Gang. Told him, listen, wild day shine like my first name. Told me go and grab a titty boy, it's my first chain. I ain't even switch gears yet, it's the first lane. The first pain I ever felt was the worst pain. Then church came, and that feeling of hurt came. Then her name made this feeling all worth pain. She made me realize what I had felt in the first place.